Today's learning is sponsored by Mr. Harry Terweel in memory of his father, Chaim Avraham ben Shoshana. To sponsor a day of learning, go to mishnah.co/support.
We're on Shabbat Perek Tet Zayin Mishnah Hey. We're going to continue talking about fires, and while this Mishnah, it seems to be relatively straightforward, it actually is one of the more significant Mishnayot when it comes to modern day halacha and technology, as I will explain moving forward. So let's say you have a fire, something you're something lit on fire. Rabbi Shimon ben Anas Omer. Rabbi Shimon ben Anas says, Porsin or shel gidi al gabe shida teva umigdal. We've had that word before. Shida teva umigdal. A shida is a chest. A teva is like another kind of chest. A migdal is like standing up a bureau drawer. So sha'achaz be'emet or they became lit by fire. I don't remember the word. Burned. That's what my son said. Okay, so what can I do? I can porsin or shel gidi. I can take a goat skin and spread it over this chest. Because then what happens is, I guess they knew this, if you take the right kind of goat skin, it becomes a charech, means it becomes singed. I.e. the goat skin won't burn, it will cause the fire, as the fire spreads, it will not become burned, rather it will become singed and the fire will go out. That's exactly what it says. Because the fire does not catch on the skin. And you prevent this kli, you prevent this piece of furniture from burning. Let's say, God forbid, I have a fire on my, here I am, I have a table, you can see, okay, and the fire starts to spread. So I can take a ketchup bottle and put it over here, and then when the fire gets to the ketchup bottle will open, bloop, and it'll spread, and it will, whether it's full or whether it's empty, in order to prevent prevent the fire from spreading. I've tried this. It doesn't work so well. What am I not allowed to do? I'm not allowed to put out the fire. But here, what am I doing? I'm putting a mechitza b'chol hakelim. The fire starts on one side of my table. I'm trying to get the table outside. Can't get the table outside. Muksa, whatever reason. Okay, it's not sakana nefashot. Nobody's life is in danger. Okay, so I can make a mechitza. I can make a boundary with all kinds of kelim, vessels, whether they're full or whether they're reikanim, they're empty. In order to prevent the dleika, the fire from spreading. Rabbi Yossi says, no, if they're new earthenware pots full of water, you can't do it. Who's oser? The fish or because they can't handle the fire, and they break, they're going to break and they're going to put out the fire. Okay, so therefore, Rabbi Yossi says, gram kibui asur, afilu b'makom hefseid mamon. This is a very important term. Gram kibui. You might have heard this term. Gram. The grom means to causing. So I'm not putting out the fire. I'm simply putting my ketchup bottle on the table that's on fire. Okay, and then it will go out on its own. That's gram, to cause it. Even b'makom hefseid mamon. Rabbi says you can't do that. That's the same thing as putting out the fire yourself. Bartanura says if we pass in this way, ein halacha Rabbi Yossi. We don't pass like Rabbi Yossi. You're allowed to put full or empty vessels in order to prevent them from letting on fire. That's called, in the halachic terminology, that's called gram kibui. Okay, causing kibui, causing something to go out, causing something to go out. Similar to a term you might have heard of. This might be familiar to you. Grama. You might have heard this halachic term. What does it mean, grama? Let's make this a little bit bigger so you can see. Grama. Grama is exactly that. When you don't do something on your own, but instead you cause it to happen. Gram, to cause something to happen. This term grama is very, very prevalent term when it comes to the issues of technology and the use of halacha. There's a whole place, this whole institute called the Tzomet. I'll show you the whole page. The Tzomet Institute. Machon Tzomet. Basically, for many, many years, now they do it less. They rely on this halachic terminology less. But much of the Tzomet Institute's halachic logic is based on the term of grama. Okay? So he says the following. Pe'ulat iha'ikifin. Doing things, akifin, in a roundabout way, kuya grama. It's called grama. Tahainu ligrom. Means to cause something to happen. Lo la'asot. Not to do it. Be'inyan melechot Shabbat, Mishnah. We learn regarding the violations of Shabbat from the Mishnah. Shebe'et sreifa, when there's a fire, she'ein basakanat nefashot, life is not in danger. This is our Mishnah. Sin mechitza b'chol hakelim. You're allowed to make a mechitza. Okay, mutar meaning, klomar meaning mutar lemalek kadei mayim You're allowed to fill pitchers of water and place them in a place where the fire will go out. Okay, and then it will go out in order to and the fire will put itself out. Okay, these are what's called pi'ilot akifot, are called grama. From this idea, the question is, to what extent can we expand grama? The Mishnah is clear, that's the halacha. But to what extent can we expand grama? Based on this, the Tzomit Institute created all kinds of fascinating technological innovations that use internally circuits that use grama. They have a way of doing it. You can go to the Tzomit Institute in Gush Etzion. It's really important to see. They actually made a video that you can see on YouTube. I'll play you the video. You can't hear it, but I'll play you the video. They haven't made that robot yet. He says, here we go. Let's say a fire is on your table. This is exactly the example. So he says, you're allowed, the Mishnah says, you're allowed to place a self-melting. I don't know how they got that thing to melt, right? Let's go back a little bit. He places the pitcher and then it melts. It's a melting pitcher. Everyone's got to have one of those. Okay, and it puts out the fire. Wow, what do you know? And therefore, the Tzomit Institute said the same thing. You push the button. You didn't cause the light to go off. Now, the light's going to go off on its own. You didn't cause. That's something that you caused the light to go off. So they made all these switches that in such a way, they don't explain to you how they do it, but they make it in such a way that you didn't cause the stair lift to go up. You didn't push the stair lift and make it go on. You did something that caused the stair lift to go on its own. Like pushing down one domino, and the rest of the dominoes ultimately will cause the light to go on. Now that's not grama. He says that's bad. That's direct cause. Grama is, I guess, some other thing. That's bad. You can't use the domino thing. And anyway, you get the point. That's the idea of grama that the Tzomit Institute instituted. Other people say, whoa, 1 second. There's a lot of differences. First difference is, first of all, the Tzomit Institute says you're only allowed to do this when there's great danger. But many people say, 1 second. When you put the pitcher, when I put the ketchup bottle, what are the odds? Is it definitely going to go out? Is it probably going to make the fire go out? Maybe yes, maybe no. Many poskim can say gram kiboy is only if it's not definite. Whereas if I make a Shabbos clock, it's definitely going to make the light go on, etc., etc. The psika hilchatit, the halachic psak of the Tzomit Institute, is by far definitely not something that's universally accepted, and that's why we all have Orthodox rabbis that we should ask them whether the Tzomit things are permitted or not permitted, and most importantly, in which instances they would be permitted and in which instances they would not. That's why everybody needs their own individual posek. We're not going to make psak halacha based on learning one Mishnah very briefly in Hilchot Shabbat. We'll stop here. If you have any comments or questions, as always, email me at rspolter@gmail.com, and we'll dedicate our learning to the memory of my father, Rav Simcha ben Yitzchak Kalman. Have a good day.